man. Dan McFarlane making 6 changes from that 7-try rout of Cardiff, Ulster's biggest win of the season. Andrew Warwick's return at loosehead prop, the only change in that front 5. Dwayne Vermeulen, of course, back at number 8, so Nick Timoney reverts back to the open side flank. Duncan Burns in the half-back, Stuart Moore then switching to midfield in place of James Hume. Mike Lowry back on provincial duty after those 2 tries for Ireland against the Italians. Late change in the Ulster front row to tell you about. Ed Byrne is out, so Peter Dooley starts and Timmy Assisi has been added to the bench. 4th start today for 20-year-old lock Joe McCarthy, and it is a very, very good back row. 19 points for Ross Byrne in Italy last week. O'Loughlin and Byrne also into that back line. 2 players, incidentally, leaving the province. It was confirmed this week for pastures new at the end of the season. Ulster are very difficult to beat here, as we know. And Leinster, well, they won't lack motivation at all. It will not be in short supply, having lost, of course, to Ulster on their own patch at the RDS back in November. 150 tonight for that man, Stuart McCluskey, the ever-reliable talismanic midfielder. What a servant he's been down the years since making his debut against the Dragons in 2014. And a nice moment for his friends and his family, his young family, as you can see. And the applause also from that man, Alan O'Connor, who then leads Ulster out this evening. Now, these two at different stages last weekend, top of the URC table. It is Leinster leading by 4 points ahead of Ulster.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more set-piece oriented, a little bit more direct. A few collisions early on here.
And the first line out of the evening goes the way of the Ulstermen. We don't always say that about them. And to the front they go on O'Connor.
One stop. Don't change mind.
Can they get set and get any kind of forward momentum here? Ball tucked up under the arm of Andrew, and off he goes on a bust on his own, and he got beyond Adam Byrne. He's done really well to make 4 or 5 metres through the tackle there and gets it away to Marcus Ray. Quick ball required here for Duncan. Here come the big targets. Timoney, joint top try scorer, of course, in the URC this season. Doak again, he misses out. Marty Murray goes to Warwick. He didn't quite reach. Surely they're in here, and for the line is Sam Carter. And Ulster strike first at the Kingspan in the top of the table clash. And it's the big second row off. Incessant pressure close in, but it came from the kick, it came from the line out, and it's a brilliant start for Ulster.
Ball goes across his face. That boy's working a little bit of space, and then Sam Carter, not known for his ball carrying, but he hits that.
Whenever they beat Leinster at the RDS, they get direct and they get very, very physical, and they beat Leinster into those gaps, into those spaces, and that's what they did so effectively there.
And they're going to get a penalty advantage here, which just might make things a little bit more easy. Opens up the options. Adam Byrne gets his feet moving. Difficult man to stop. Big, physical, athletic presence. Quick ball again for Luke McGrath. And over the top they go from Rory O'Loughlin all the way out to Tommy O'Brien. "85 points in the URC this season, 19 of those including a try in Treviso against Benetton. Just gone forward off an Ulster hand, say the officials. So knock-on advantage as Dooley collects it here for Leinster, and McGrath to Byrne. Alalatoa puts one out the back. That's clever and promising, and there's a hole for Jamie Osborne, and he almost made it all the way through on his own butt for that last ditch tap tackle, and might he have got the ball away.
But really well created by Osborne. He comes out the back of the forward paw with Alatoa, and you know, it's an ambitious passing in condition.
Dwayne Vermeulen, who arrived the week after Ulster beat Leinster down at the RDS in November.
No. Use it! Stop!
Now O'Brien, and he too gets the footwork going. Nice little pop pass back inside to a good trail line from James Tracy. Leinster just warming to the task now, but they adapt the strategy to a cross-field kick. That's gone back off an Ulster hand, I think, that of Craig Gilroy. Ulster taking their time to get set and get right here. 24th minute. Oh, that's a loose one. Slipping out of the clutches of Alan O'Connor. And Leinster get the penalty, so that's another opportunity gone, having did really well to get that low body position and drive Leinster back when they looked certain to score, and still they might. Time and again they just pile around that corner a little bit slower now. And there's another advantage. Ulster have to be very careful here. They're testing the patience of Frank Murphy.
It's a new advantage, 12 not rolling.
And there's another one, that time against Stuart McCluskey. The Leinster backline poised, and Ross Byrne had a little look on the inside. Good tackle by Doak. Luke McGrath, and he's thumped by John Andrew. Still with that penalty advantage. Dooley gets it away. Deegan surely will get there, and Leinster have scored their try, and they take the lead. Perseverance and power are key, and it's the number 8 who dots down for his 5th try of the season.
Yeah, textbook Leinster, real composure. They don't go to the backs until they have the penalty advantage. Then Luke McGrath gives Ross Byrne a chance, and then they just, again, build phase. Look how long they clean. And Joe McCarthy smashes Deegan through here, just from the outside over.
Yeah, you called it, Birch. It just felt relentless, constantly just coming around the corner time after time. And actually,
it looks good from our vantage point, and the assistant referees. Well, we expected that it would be tight and tense and maybe a little bit scrappy given the conditions, and the opening 32 minutes have absolutely followed that script. There's another big turnover too in quick succession for Ulster. The crowd beginning to get into this now as well, and look at Mike Lowry go. He breaks a couple of tackles. Huge support outside. He gets it to Balakoon, back on the inside.
You know, when you're 5 yards out, just be a little bit more pragmatic.
More.
Here's Timoney now. Very flat to that man McCluskey with a straight arm fend on James Tracy, just locked in position, taken on by Doak. Good period of pressure this from Ulster as Andrew gets his hands on it again. Alan O'Connor deputising as a scrum half. Is there an end product to this period of pressure? Out the back from Burns, and Lowry holds on to it. Balakoon, and Lowry again. And this time Ulster find the switch between the mercurial fullback and the brilliant winger, and they have their 2nd try of the evening, and it's the first in the URC for a year from Michael Lowry, and it's an absolute beauty.
that was the question everybody was asking, Conor. Is there a final product here? Opportunity, and they took it very, very clinical. Two executions, 2 little passes. Mike Lowry on the outside and then back inside. These two just have a chemistry. They know how each other like to operate, and they find each other.
Has he measured that one? He's just left it out to the right hand side, but the game now really beginning to warm up, and a lot of that's got to do with lovely understanding. The timing was absolutely perfect. Ulster have just raised the stakes physically as well, haven't they? A couple of big carries from Timoney, and it's coming around right to left. He's judged that beautifully, has Nathan Doak, and the shrill blast of the referee's whistle sends them into the sheds for some half-time console. It's been an absorbing game in really difficult conditions, and it's the home side, Ulster, so hard to beat at home, that are in the box seat as we take a break. The half-time score, the Kingspan, Ulster 18, Leinster 10.
All behind, please.
Robert Balakoon heavily involved in that sumptuous Mike Lowry try.
Inside.
And that late penalty from the boot of Nathan Doak, opening up this 8-point advantage.
Move.
Up it goes from Lowry, and his chase is a good one, but he just knocked it forward. Luke McGrath has it. Needs support to get there.
Over.
Into play, scrum half is Ross Maloney. Low looking trajectory, but he dissects the uprights, and it's Leinster who strike first in the 2nd half. Adam Byrne off in chase again. Oh, Mike Lowry might have to go back a little bit more than that. It's the breezes catching players out now time and again, as is Mike Lowry's foot. Tracy, will he go to the front of Maloney? No, they went for Rhys Ruddock was the target. That's gone back off an Ulster hand, so it's okay for Tom Stewart. And massive hit from Eric O'Sullivan.
Ball was out.
Ross Byrne didn't have time to get his kick away. That's good from Timoney, good pressure, line speed. Ulster, of course, off to South Africa after this, where conditions will be markedly different. Leinster in the midst of 5 inter-provincial matches, both domestically and in European competition.
And they're really showing their true colours.
Yeah, 15th appearance, but his 6th start now at centre. Of course, we were accustomed to seeing him in that full-back role for the Ireland under-20. It's a big ask to keep a Leinster side like this to just 1 penalty in 40 minutes, but Deegan comes away with it at pace. Comes onto it this time. Pops it right back into the 22, straight in front of the posts. Oh, and it's off the pad, makes it a little bit tricky for Laurie, but he showed great composure. And then wonderful dancing feet and elusive running.
Advantage.
Just this is class. Like, Leinster think they're going to trap him there, and he just works his way, weaves his way right, and he actually should have given his pass here, but you know, it goes to ground in the end.
Not quite a rope-a-dope second half performance, but they've certainly backed their defence and they've backed their resilience, and even the little small margins and small decisions going against you at this time of the game could prove monumental. Deliver the pass, they can't afford any mistakes. 79th minute, and just as I say that, Ulster on the cusp here, on the threshold of another win over Leinster, to follow up and back up the display that they got at the RDS back in November. And there is the whistle from Frank Murphy. And listen to the roar as Ulster secure home and away wins over Leinster for the first time.